Megasaurus 55 is getting to grips with the Porsche 962C long tail in this practice session. Armin Sunoiler is on their first practice flying lap. There are just over 230 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 230 minutes left in this practice session. Megasaurus 55 is getting to grips with the Porsche 962C long tail in this practice session. Armin Sunoiler is getting to grips with the Porsche 962C long tail in this practice session. Lars is on their practice out lap. Armin Sunoiler is getting to grips with the Porsche 962C long tail in this practice session. Lars is on their practice out lap. Armin Sunoiler is on their first practice flying lap. Jurg Yu is getting to grips with the Porsche 962C Longtail in this practice session. Lars is on their practice outlap. There are just over 225 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 225 minutes left in this practice session. Jurg Yu is getting to grips with the Porsche 962C Longtail in this practice session. Armin Sunoiler has a best lap time of 3:59.822. Jurg Yu is on their first practice flying lap. Armin Sunoiler has a best lap time of 3:59.822. With just 223 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Armin Sunoiler posted 4:25.635 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Jurg Yu has a best lap time of 3:58.214. Lars is on their practice out lap. Armin Sunoiler has a best lap time of 3:59.822. There are just over 220 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 220 minutes left in this practice session. With just 219 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Robin Overbeck is on their practice out lap. Megasaurus 55 posted 350.909 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Jerg U posted a 4:00.699 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Megasaurus 55 has a best lap time of 3:50.909. With just 216 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. CJ is on their practice out lap. Mr. Bang is on their practice out lap. There are just over 215 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 215 minutes left in this practice session. Lars is on their practice out lap. Smells Like We is on their practice out lap. Robin Overbeck is on their practice out lap. Mr. Bang is on their practice out lap. Smells Like We is on their practice out lap. Jerd Yu has a best lap time of 3:57.087. Smells Like We is on their practice out lap. Armin Sunoiler posted a 4:08.923 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Mr. Bang is on their practice out lap. There are just over 210 minutes left in this practice session. Robin Overbeck is on their out lap. You can feel the tension building. Robin Overbeck is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. The adrenaline is pumping. Lars is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time. It's all about strategy in these early moments. Armin Sunoiler is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Armin Sunoiler handles it. It looks like Robin Overbeck is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right. It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits. Lars is on their out lap. This is where the mental game comes into play. Mr. Bang is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. The adrenaline is pumping. Smells Like We is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time. You can feel the tension building. Megasaurus 55 is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if Megasaurus 55 can deliver. There are just over 15 minutes left in this qualification session. Robin Overbeck has completed their outlap. It looks like Lars is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right. They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap. Lars has completed their outlap. It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and Robin Overbeck is nailing both. Robin Overbeck has just completed that lap in 3:44.033. Their best lap so far is 3:45.577. Putting them in P1. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? Jurg Yu is on their outlap. This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute. Jurg Yu has completed their outlap. This is where the mental game comes into play. Lars is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Lars handles it. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Wow, look at Armin Sunoila go. They're really turning on the jets in this qualifying session. Smells Like We is on their first flying lap. Smells Like We has completed their first flying lap in 3:53.666. The adrenaline is pumping. Lars is on their out lap, warming up the tyres and getting ready to put in a fast lap time. And there goes Jurg Yu, currently in position 5. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. Incredible drive by Lars so far, earning them 6th on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up? You hit the nail on the head, Rob. Lars' current position of 6th is a testament to their skill and determination. Now, they must stay sharp to make the most of this opportunity. It's an impressive showing by Smells Like We, currently in 4th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher? A solid qualifying performance by Megasaurus 55, positioning them in 2nd at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners. You're absolutely right, Rob. Megasaurus 55's current position of 2nd reflects their strong qualifying performance. Now, they'll need to strategize and capitalize on this starting position. Impressive work from Jurg Yu, who has claimed 5th on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position. Megasaurus 55 has secured a respectable second in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance? A strong showing from Smells Like We as they currently sit in fourth. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve. Smells Like We has just completed a lap in 3:53.666. Let's see if they can improve on their time further. Impressive display by Megasaurus 55, currently sitting in position 2. They've set a competitive time, but the question remains whether they can push even harder to secure a better starting position. Megasaurus 55 has completed their outlap. Bob's your uncle, and we're racing. Now, who's got the moxie and the moves to leave the others for dust? It's like driving on a winding Carolina back road. You gotta know when to push and when to coast, especially when the track's this crowded. Robin Overbeck will lead the way from pole position. Securing the second place is Megasaurus 55. It's like they're on the outside looking in. Can they make their way to the front of the pack? At third, we have the one and only Armin Sunoiler. Big things expected for Armin Sunoiler today. Holding strong in fourth place is Smells Like We. Jurg Yu is placed in fifth. Jurg Yu will be taking no prisoners today. Lining up in sixth is Lars. Mr. Bang is seventh. The tension is palpable here. No one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap. Looks like Robin Overbeck's letting others have their 15 seconds of fame. Now strolling at second. Life on the track is a tapestry of decisions. Looks like Robin Overbeck is weaving a complex narrative today, dropping a notch. I reckon they've had a few secret lessons down under. Robin Overbeck's just breezed. Breaking news, folks. Things don't look to be going Robin Overbeck's way, as already they are into the pits. Well, races can be won or lost in the pits, but in this case it's all bad news for Robin Overbeck. It's going to be tough to come back from. It's all systems go for Robin Overbeck. Breaking news, folks. And Robin Overbeck in 5th is coming into the pits, and that might be to serve a penalty. That's going to be a big disappointment for them at this stage. Let's hope the team can regroup and make some sort of recovery. Starting from breaking alert, looks like Robin Overbeck is coming into the pits early. Now is that to serve a penalty, or have they picked up some damage during the start? That's not where they want to be right now. Robin Overbeck's ripping it up out there, going harder than a roux on a trampoline and leaving Megasaurus 55 in their wake. Whoa there, Megasaurus 55 is sticking to Armin Sunoiler like glue. You reckon Armin Sunoiler's feeling the pressure? 'Cause I sure would. And Megasaurus 55 has just won the place from Armin Sunoiler. There's a storm brewing, and it's got Armin Sunoiler's name on it. Megasaurus 55, batten down the hatches, it's coming for you. It's a close race between Megasaurus 55 and Robin Overbeck in first. A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tyre barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid. I tell you what, Megasaurus 55 has got more problems than a maths book right now. Robin Overbeck is leaving M in a cloud of dust. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed. Well, don't come the raw prawn. Smells like Wee's giving it some stick, pulling Jerg U into a mere 0.3 seconds. This is where the pressure really starts to build. Both drivers will need to stay calm and focused if they want to come out on top. A great pass for Smells Like Wee as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Jerg U has lost ground. I've always said, it's not the car, it's the driver. And Smells Like Wee's proving that point right. Jerg U is running 5th. They are trying to catch Smells Like Wee. The pursuit is on. Megasaurus 55 is closing the gap on Robin Overbeck, determined to claim P1. Like a scene from a thriller, Smells Like We's on Armin Sunoiler's tail, hungry for that spot. Who will be able to maintain their pace and come out on top? It's pedal to the metal for Smells Like We, while Armin Sunoiler's still flipping through the radio channel. Well, it looks like we have a bit of a traffic jam on the track. It's like rush hour out there. I mean, I know we're in a race, but can't we all just get along? Ha ha, I don't think that's how it works. These drivers are here to win, and they'll do whatever it takes to get ahead. I guess you're right, but wouldn't it be great if they all just stopped for a cup of tea and a chat? We could have a lovely little race reunion. The battle for 3 is heating up as Armin Sunoiler tries to catch Smells Like We in P3. Will Armin Sunoiler be able to make a move and pass Smells Like We? Blimey, Megasaurus 55's determination reminds me of a kangaroo in a hopping contest. Well, over here in the States, it's more like a squirrel chasing down its last nut before winter. Either way, it's entertaining to watch. As the laps wind down, the hunt intensifies. Jurg Yu is lurking, ready to unleash an overtaking masterclass on Armin Sunoiler. If Jurg Yu doesn't pick up the pace, hell, they'll be as relevant as an ashtray on a motorbike. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Lars is inching ever closer to Jurg Yu. It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. Lars needs to stay patient and wait for Jurg Yu to make a mistake. It's not coming up roses for Lars. They're trailing Jurg Yu and the gap's on the rise. They don't seem to have a response. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. You know, Rob, these pit stops always amaze me. Just a few seconds, and they change tires, refuel, adjust settings. It's like a well-choreographed dance. Absolutely, and the precision. One slight misstep, and it could cost the race. It's an art and a testament to the pit crew's relentless training and coordination. The race is heating up, braking alert. Maybe Mr. Bang's got a drop bear in the cockpit, cause that move was bonkers. This chase is as intense as a cricket match during the Ashes. Cricket? I thought that was just a noisy bug. But seriously, it's like Game 7 of the World Series here. Big gains for Lars as they move up the field, leaving Armin Sunoiler behind. Someone better check if Lars has been drinking those energy drinks, as it seems— Hold on a second. Blimey. Lars has just thrown another shrimp on the barbie of mishaps. This one's burnt. Every move counts now as Megasaurus 55 works to reel in Robin Overbeck and overtake for P1. On this asphalt battlefield, Megasaurus 55's determination is the weapon, and Robin Overbeck is the target. Things are looking as crook as Rookwood for Megasaurus 55, lagging behind Robin Overbeck and the gap stretching out like a long country road. They'll need to find some extra grunt to flip this situation. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Lars will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. Buckle up. Megasaurus 55 is all over Robin Overbeck like a cheap suit. Are we about to see some wheel-to-wheel action? It's a battle of nerves now. Who will make the first mistake? Megasaurus 55 or Robin Overbeck? This is high-stakes racing. Megasaurus 55's giving it a red-hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with Robin Overbeck. It's like chasing a roux on a motorbike. Any bloke or Sheila saying Assetto Corsa Friends isn't top-notch is a few kangaroos short of the top paddock. Out there, it's art. Art on wheels. Totally get you. Hold on a second. Looks like Jerg you tried the ol' dingo stole my race line trick. A tad too clever by half. Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 5 kph out there right now. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Lars trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Jerg you. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Lars close in enough to mount a challenge? A strong showing from Robin Overbeck, who is hold that thought, hold the phone. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. It's a real shame. Until this point in the race, they've been looking at a decent result. You reckon Robin Overbeck's rear view is just filled with Megasaurus 55 now? Oh, without a doubt. That's a sight no driver wants in their mirrors. Megasaurus 55 wants to find a way round Robin Overbeck. Do they have the speed for a move? And more importantly, do they have the talent? Megasaurus 55 is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Robin Overbeck at the moment. Jerg you is owning the tarmac, confidently owning the 5th spot. A commanding performance from Jerg you, who has increased their lead over Lars, putting them firmly in their rearview mirrors. But could they be pushing too hard? As with that comes the risk of overconfidence and losing control. Who will be the first to get too cocky and end up in the wall? I'm curious, Hal, can you tell us about any pre-race rituals you had when you were racing? Of course, Rob. Before every race, I would listen to a specific playlist of songs to help me get in the zone. I also had a lucky pair of socks that I would wear during races. It may sound silly, but those little rituals helped me feel prepared and focused. Alright, lads and ladies, it's crunch time. Megasaurus 55 is sniffing around Robin Overbeck like a dog with a bone. And it looks like they might just take a bite out of first. As vast as the azure stretches of the Great Barrier Reef, so does Robin Overbeck's path ahead a Euro, filled with mystique and myriad challenges. Kind of reminds me of fishing in the vast Carolina Blue a Euro. A big catch might just be a cast away. It's the classic cat and mouse game, but instead of cheese, the prize is a racing position. Can Lars NAB it from Jerg you? You know, Lars reminds me of my dog chasing its tail, persistent and entertaining. But I hope for them, there's a better end result in sight. It's game on now. Lars has closed the gap to Jerg you. It's now down to 1.4 seconds. That's a great effort from Lars. They need to keep up the pressure and see if they can make a move. It's a battle of wills out there, with Armin Sunoiler trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Smells Like We. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race? It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Smells Like We is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Armin Sunoiler in P4 doing everything they can to catch up. The chase music's playing in Lars's head as they reel in Jerg U, moment by nail-biting moment. Lars could be on a charge here. How they have just put in a quicker lap than Jerg U. As long as Lars can maintain that consistency and pace, it will be interesting to see. The gap between Robin Overbeck in second and Megasaurus 55 remains over a second, but Robin Overbeck is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close the gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 21 minutes? You know, Hal, as a former racing driver yourself, can you give us some insights into what goes through a driver's mind during these quieter moments in a race? Sure, Rob. During these moments, drivers often take the opportunity to assess their race strategy, monitor their car's performance, and plan their next move. It's all about staying focused and finding the right time to strike. Jerg U is on a mission, chasing Lars, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. It's a pressure cooker out there. Every second shaved off means Jerg U's a step closer to tasting victory. Watching Robin Overbeck try to close the gap on Megasaurus 55 is like watching someone try to catch an ice cream truck on foot. Hope they've got good shoes. Looking at the lap times, Robin Overbeck is not on pace with Megasaurus 55. Can they turn it around? Can Robin Overbeck turn this around? These drivers? Top-notch athletes. It's not just about being quick. They've got stamina, reflexes, and they got to think faster than a kangaroo on a trampoline. I'd pay to see that. A kangaroo on a trampoline? But yeah, their mental and physical game has to be on point for these races. Megasaurus 55 is holding first, but Robin Overbeck is right on their tail. Yeah, it's going to be tough for Robin Overbeck to make up that gap, especially with Megasaurus 55 defending so well. Struth, Armin Sunoiler's chances are looking thinner than a roux on a diet. Only way forward might be a bit of razzle-dazzle or a slip up ahead. Well, every dog has its day, and this race ain't a Euro T over till it's over. Hold on to your hats. Lars is gunning for Armin Sunoiler. Reckon we might see some cheeky moves on the next bend? Hey Rob, ever seen a cat toy with a mouse? Kind of feels like what Lars is doing to Armin Sunoiler right now, doesn't it? It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Lars gaining places and Armin Sunoiler losing them. Oi, Robin Overbeck is on Megasaurus 55 like a drop bear on an unsuspecting tourist. Drop bear? Had to Google that one. But yeah, here it's like a linebacker on a quarterback sack. Now that's how it's done. Robin Overbeck rips through the track, while Megasaurus 55 watches the tail lights fade. The tension is building as Armin Sunoiler trails behind Lars. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Lars hold on, or will Armin Sunoiler be able to close them down? The best laid plans of mice and men, haha, but it's certainly not going to plan for Arm and Sunoiler right now as they are struggling to keep up with Lars. From where we're sitting, Lars seems unmovable from that fourth. A commanding performance from Lars, who has increased their lead over Arm and Sunoiler, putting them firmly in their rear-view mirrors. Well, butter my biscuit, Lars is holding the reins tight, ain't giving Arm and Sunoiler a chance to get ahead. Hollywood couldn't script this better. Jurg used shadowing Arm and Sunoiler, waiting for the slightest misstep. Each roar of the engine, each squeal of the tire is a chapter in this epic duel. Who'll pen the perfect ending? Hang on to your cork hats, mates. We're about to see more jousting than a footy final between Jurg and Arm and Sunoiler. Superb driving from Jurg, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. I tell ya, Jurg's hotter than a peppered pickle right now. Bold and spicy, claiming fifth like a champ. You reckon Arm and Sunoiler's got a shot, mate? I'd say it's like trying to throw a football into a moving pickup truck from 50 yards. Tough, but not impossible. This is where every inch counts. Arm and Sunoiler is pushing hard to close the gap on Jurg. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between winning and losing. If racing were a dance, Megasaurus 55 would be trying to lead, but Robin Overbeck just keeps cutting in. The dance floor is heating up. Speaking of rhythm, have you heard Robin Overbeck's favourite song? Maybe Megasaurus 55 can play it to distract them and close the gap. Just a thought. As a former driver, Hal, how did you manage the physical demands of racing? It's all about preparation, Rob. Drivers undergo rigorous fitness training to build their strength, stamina, and flexibility. A proper diet and hydration plan is also essential to ensure peak performance on race day. Arm and Sunoiler is giving it their all as they chase down Jurg in P5. It looks like Arm and Sunoiler is making a move. The gap to Jurg is now down to 0.6 seconds. The drivers are really pushing their limits out there on the track. It's like they're trying to outrun the laws of physics. But we all know that's impossible, or is it? I mean, we're a couple of AI commenting on a race, anything can happen. Ha ha, you have a point there. And speaking of pushing limits, these cars are breaking records left and right. They're so fast, it's like they're breaking the sound barrier, or at least the speed limit. I hope the police aren't watching. The age-old challenge. Arm and Sunoiler is trying to catch Jurg, sort of like trying to find a matching sock in the laundry. The struggle is real, folks. It may seem like Arm and Sunoiler is far behind, but Jurg can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Arm and Sunoiler an opening to catch up. That's very true, and Arm and Sunoiler knows that as well. They have to drive their own race and wait for Jurg to make a mistake if they want to have any chance of overtaking. The gap might be more than a second, but Mr. Bang is showing persistence. Kind of like me trying to open a pickle jar. Keep at it, and something's got to give. I agree, Mr. Bang is putting in the effort. Sort of like me a karaoke night, not sure about the results, but full points for enthusiasm. The crowd is on tender hooks as Arm and Sunoiler in 6th chases after Jurg. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Armin Sunoiler find a way to catch up? When you talk about experience, it's like saying I've experienced my mother-in-law's cooking. Doesn't mean I want to do it again. But Armin Sunoiler, keep pushing. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Mr. Bang, who is currently in P7. But Armin Sunoiler is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Mr. Bang. It's not going to plan for Mr. Bang. They are still behind Armin Sunoiler and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now. Oh, the chase is on. Armin Sunoiler's breathing down the neck of Jerg Yu. The rubber's burning, the crowd's yearning, and Armin Sunoiler's engine is churning to get past Jerg Yu. Good news for Armin Sunoiler, the gap to Jerg Yu has decreased. It's now down to 0.8 seconds. You ever ponder how these drivers manage the heat, especially in that tight cockpit? It's hotter than a ruse pouch in midday sun. Hey, ruse what? I mean, yeah, it's got to be like driving in Arizona with the heater on, right? This is where the race gets really interesting. Armin Sunoiler is closing in on Jerg Yu. They say pressure makes diamonds. Well, Armin Sunoiler's shining bright, closing in with every stop the press. Looks like Armin Sunoiler is testing the off-road capabilities of their ride. In a race where seconds count, Armin Sunoiler is counting on less of them between themselves and Jerg Yu. Much like I'm counting on less seconds until lunchtime. It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Armin Sunoiler in 6th determined to catch up. But we know Jerg Yu isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Armin Sunoiler is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close the gap. The rumble of the engine, the scent of the rubber, and Megasaurus 55 comfortably sitting at first. Well, looky here, how Robin Overbeck is closing in on Megasaurus 55. We're talking a gap of just 5.4 seconds. This is where the pressure really starts to mount on Megasaurus 55. They need to stay focused and not make any mistakes. It's looking good for Smells Like Weed, sitting in 3rd. Excellent work from Smells Like Weed, who has managed to increase their lead over Lars. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it. But with every smooth turn, comes the risk of wrecking their car. Who will be the first to push it too far and crash out of the race? That's right, Rob, these drivers are like musicians, finding their groove and playing their instruments to perfection. But just like in music, even the best players can hit a wrong note. Let's hope none of these drivers make any mistakes and end up singing the blues. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Robin Overbeck will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. That's right, Robin Overbeck in 2nd knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Megasaurus 55 is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there. It might be early days, but Lars is already casting a shadow from the 4th. Yes, and in this high-octane opera, Lars's voice resonates the loudest from that 4th. He's pulling away. Lars is increasing the gap to Jerg Yu. Darn tootin'. Rob, Lars is looking as smooth as a gravy sandwich out there. They're making it a tough day at the office for Jurg. The evolution of these cars over the years is nothing short of incredible. The aerodynamics, the tire technology, it's all a game of innovation. Couldn't have said it better. And to think about the data analytics behind every decision, from tire pressures to wing adjustments. It's not just a sport, it's a symphony of engineering and strategy. With the asphalt burning beneath them, Lars's strategy seems to be working, placing them in fourth. Everyone's on the edge of their seats. Or in my case, on the edge of spilling my coffee. Mr. Bang is getting closer to arm and sun oiler, and I'm getting closer to needing a towel. In your experience, Hal, what was the most challenging aspect of maintaining concentration during a race? The most challenging aspect, Rob, was managing the various inputs and distractions during the race, from radio communication with the team to monitoring car performance and race strategy. It's a delicate balancing act that requires immense mental discipline. The race is heating up as Mr. Bang in 7th closes in on Armin Sunoiler. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. It's a battle of wills out there, with Armin Sunoiler trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Jurg. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race? Indeed, the tension is palpable as Armin Sunoiler tries to reel in Jurg. But Jurg is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Armin Sunoiler find some extra pace to bring the fight to Jurg? It looks like Robin Overbeck is pushing hard to catch up to Megasaurus 55. The gap is over a second, but Robin Overbeck is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Megasaurus 55? Absolutely. Robin Overbeck in 2nd will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here. You can feel the focus radiating from Lars, confidently holding onto the 4th. Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race. Buckle up, Hal. Jurg is cutting into Lars's lead like a hot knife through butter. It's now down to 12.2 seconds. Like a fox in the henhouse, Jurg is causing all kinds of trouble for Lars. You know, Hal, during a long race like this, how easy is it for a driver to experience a lapse in concentration? It can be quite easy, Rob. With so many factors to consider and the intense focus required, even the most experienced drivers can have a momentary lapse. That's why mental training and staying in the zone are so important. A solid performance from Lars, who is holding down 4th. Looks like Mr. Bang is trying to chase down Armin Sunoiler, but right now it feels a bit like my attempts at dieting. A lot of hard work with slow results. It's going to be tough for Mr. Bang, as Armin Sunoiler seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Mr. Bang pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again. The tension is building as Armin Sunoiler trails behind Jurg. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Jurg hold on, or will Armin Wait, Struth. Smells like we's having a real dog's breakfast of a moment. Well, butter my biscuit. Smells like we just did the hokey pokey right in the middle of the race. Things are going according to plan for Jurg, who is currently 5th. Crikey, Jurg's lead is slipping away quicker than a roux on the hop. Armin Sunoiler is now just 11.9 seconds behind. If racing were a dance, Mr. Bang would be trying to lead, but Armin Sunoiler just keeps cutting in. The dance floor is heating up. You know, Mr. Bang reminds me of my dog chasing its tail, persistent and entertaining. But I hope for them, there's a better end result in sight. It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Mr. Bang and Armin Sunoiler. This here's where the steel meets the pavement. Both drivers got to keep their cool if they're looking to take the checkered flag. As of now, Smells Like We stands tall in the third spot. Oh, for sure. But remember, the rearview mirror can be just as crucial as the windscreen. Smells Like We needs to watch out for those lurking in the shadows. Oh no, Hal, look at this. Lars is closing in on Smells Like We. The gap is now just 13.9 seconds. From the cockpit to the pit lane, the chatter is all about Lars's masterful hold on the fourth. You've nailed it. The track is a battleground, and Lars's position is their fortress. Let's see how long they hold the fort. No worries for Lars, who's leaving Jurg Yu for dust, as though they're a parched bloke chasing the beer van. The gap between Jurg Yu in fifth and Lars remains over a second, but Jurg Yu is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close the gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 0 minutes? Exactly, Jurg Yu's got to be careful not to overdrive, sort of like overcooking a steak. No one wants a burnt race, right? Watching Mr. Bang try to close that gap on Armin Sunoiler is like watching someone try to catch an ice cream truck on. Breaking news, folks, Mr. Bang is in the pits. The age-old challenge. Mr. Bang is trying to catch Armin Sunoiler, sort of like trying to find a matching sock in the laundry. The struggle is real, folks. Oh, for sure. It's like watching a cooking show where Mr. Bang is trying to whip up a winning dish, but Armin Sunoiler keeps hiding the main ingredient. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Robin Overbeck, who is currently in P2. But Megasaurus 55 is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Robin Overbeck. It's all about consistency for Jurg Yu, who is currently fifth. That's right, they can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship. It looks like Armin Sunoiler is starting to catch up to Jurg Yu. The gap is now down to 7.6 seconds. In a world where milliseconds matter, Megasaurus 55's grasp on the first speaks volumes. The gap might be more than a second, but Robin Overbeck is showing persistence. Kind of like me trying to open a pickle jar. Keep at it, and something's got to give. Some say it's about the journey, not the destination. But Megasaurus 55 seems pretty intent on that first spot. He's pulling away. Megasaurus 55 is increasing the gap to Robin Overbeck. It looks like Robin Overbeck needs to dig deep and find some courage to catch up. Will they be able to take the risk and push their car to the limit? That's right, Rob, it's time for Robin Overbeck to show us what they're made of. Will they be brave enough to go for it, or will they be content with just following in the footsteps of Megasaurus 55? Let's see who's got the guts to take the lead. Any bloke or Sheila saying Assetto Corsa Friends isn't top-notch is a few kangaroos short of the top paddock. Out there, it's art. Art on wheels. Totally get you. Like, they're born racers. That weaving, the speed? Just mesmerizing. It's like watching a rude dodging a ute on a highway. All skill, mate. All skill. Definitely. But they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and smells like we has to keep pushing to stay on the pace. It's all over. Megasaurus 55 has claimed victory in this race with a stunning drive that will be remembered for years to come. Clearly at the top of their game right now. Robin Overbeck never gave up. They drove with heart and determination, ultimately securing a well-deserved second-place finish. That was an outstanding performance from Smells Like We. They fought hard and took the final spot on the podium. What a drive, well-deserved spot on the podium with that performance. Lars take fourth. Fifth sees Jurg Yu. Armin Sanoila has pulled into the pits. Starting in pole position gives Jurg Yu a clear advantage over the rest of the field. But they can't get cocky. This is Assetto Corsa Friends, and anything can happen. The second place on the grid belongs to Lars, a driver with plenty of experience. What can they do with that Porsche 962C Longtail from here? Smells Like We has qualified third. I think we are all looking forward to seeing what Smells Like We can do from here.